it going, everyone? So today we're going to talk about my top trading mentors. And when I talk about these mentors, these are people that helped me in the beginning of my trading journey. So I never actually had a mentor that I met in person. Really, it was just going through YouTube, finding channels that I gravitated towards, had strategies that were similar to kind of my mindset, and then I just watched all their content for free. Now, I'm only going to talk about a handful, even though there are plenty other people that put out good content on a daily basis. But the reason why I'm going to highlight them is because those are the ones that I really gravitated towards in the beginning of my trading journey, and I believed really helped me when it came to developing a strategy and getting me to the point where I am now. And when I talk about each of these individuals or their YouTube channels in general, just some of the groups, I didn't pay for anything. I never joined any chat rooms. I never paid for any courses or anything like that. They have amazing content, and all of it is free videos on YouTube or Twitter. And the really cool thing about trading now is that it's very mainstream. So myself included, and a lot of groups, they put a lot of stuff out for free. So there's a ton of videos on each of these YouTube channels where you don't have to pay for anything. You can just sit down, invest a lot of time, watch the videos, and that's where you can learn a ton. And this is also a really good example of how powerful the internet is and why YouTube is amazing, because whatever it is you're interested in, or even if it's stock market related and you have a question about whether it be options, how to trade options, just anything in between, all you need to do is type that into the search bar, and then you can usually find numerous videos on that topic. That's how I taught myself everything. And then obviously, if you gravitate towards a channel more than another, then that's probably a good idea to watch a lot of their videos. That's what I did and how I came up with all of these mentors and these channels that I really learned a lot from in the beginning of my journey. So let's get started. And there's going to be no specific order. I'm just putting these out there randomly. The first one, which I'm sure a lot of people have heard of, is Bear Bull Traders. I've been watching them for a very long time. Now, I don't really watch a lot of videos so much anymore because I feel like I'm kind of over the hurdle. I know what I'm doing. I know my process and my system. But for entertainment purposes or just for educational purposes, they're fantastic. They do trade recaps. And a really cool thing is they do a pre-market prep show each day before the market open. They provide a lot of value and put out some really quality content. So if you're interested, go check them out. And the next is going to be Oliver Velez. Now, he trades very different than I do, but as far as the 2-minute chart, that's actually where I got this idea from because he uses a 2-minute chart. So after watching some of his videos, I just started looking at it myself, and that's where I found some interest. And the reason why I like the 2 is it slows things down just enough for me to not be overwhelmed and feel like I need to force trades. And also, he provides a lot of good videos just as far as mindset and everything in between. So if you're interested, go check him out. And the next is going to be Canal over at Bulls on Wall Street. He was a person that I watched a lot in the beginning. He trades much differently than I do, but as far as getting some tips on how to approach the market, stocks to trade, he has some really good YouTube videos, and he also does some live streams in the pre-market. So he puts out a lot of great content. Next is going to be Scott Redler on Twitter. His handle is @RedDogT3. He's been trading for 20 plus years, so he's a veteran in the game. He provides a ton of value on his Twitter account. So he does daily chart requests, talks about technicals, talks a lot about kind of mentality, psychological stuff. And then he has something where in the morning, it's called the 6:30 a.m. Club, where he does a little bit of an overview of the market and maybe some things that he's watching. So there is a ton of value on his Twitter account. This is arguably one of the best to follow. And then Sang Lucci, this is a really awesome YouTube channel. Now, sometimes they go really in depth as far as like the market mechanics, which can go over a lot of people's heads. But it is worth watching. It's something that I used to watch a lot. And also now they do a lot of interviews of other traders. So it's really good content, provides a lot of value, has insights from all sorts of traders because there are numerous different ways to trade the market. You don't have to make the money the same way that everyone else does. There's a ton of different strategies. It really just depends on your style. They do a really good job of interviewing other traders and also kind of going into mindset and everything in between. And the last one is going to be Benzinga. Now, they put out a lot of stuff, but really the one thing that I focus on that I've been watching for a very long time and I still watch to this point is the Benzinga pre-market prep show. So these guys stream live every day for an hour before the market open. They talk about just the overall market, kind of what's working, what's not. To this day, they're still part of my routine. That pre-market prep show is fantastic. And the really awesome thing is that it's free. They provide a ton of value, so totally worth watching. So those are some of my top trading mentors. And of course, there are a lot of other people who put out really good content. But the reason why I wanted to focus on these is because they have been with me since the beginning and helped develop me into the trader that I am today. And I don't trade exactly like any one of these. What I've done is I've taken basically bits and pieces like I always talk about, learn a little bit from each person, take that information, put it into the blender, and then I put my own ingredients in that blender and come up with a style that's worked best for me. So that's it for the video. Hopefully you got some value. Feel free to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for sticking around to the end of the video. I just want to talk about a couple cool things that I have to offer. The first is going to be my newsletter watch list. This is exactly what I post on my private Twitter 30 minutes before market open every single day. I do a quick analysis of the overall market, the SPY and the Qs, if there's any major market news that day, and then all the stocks I'm interested in watching, it's usually 4 or 5, if there's any major news tied to them, and all the levels that I think are in play. To the left, this is exactly what I'm posting on my private Twitter. I make sure to add that newsletter. I take a screenshot of the charts, green line to the upside being long, red line to the downside being short, and I make sure to highlight those 2 levels above. This is everything that's going on in my mind and my game plan going into each market open. Also, I make sure to add a little mental note because every day is slightly different, and here's an example of that. And if you want something that's a little bit less of a commitment, I do offer a live one-on-one call for 1 hour. This is where you can ask me questions about my journey, go over setups specifically, everything that I've gone through as a trader. Whether you're beginner or advanced, this is a great way to connect with me. So if you're interested in my private Twitter or the one-on-one live call, feel free to go to callmattdiamond.com or check out the links in the description below.